Welcome to Breaking Digital, the digital leadership show, pardon me. Geez, I haven't done these in a week and now my voice is kind of all gone. So today I'm with the amazing LInda Reed Enever, and we're going to be talking about business. We're going to be talking about community. We're going to be talking about humans and community and business and all that kind of good stuff online. So she's got an amazing story that we're going to be talking to her and getting some great questions. And feel free to ask your questions along the way. And depending on how many we get, we might ask them at the end or just kind of as we get through it. But we're going to be talking with LInda about her story, how she's kind of grown and created some amazing momentum with her Facebook group, but as well as her business. And she's joining us all the way from rural Victoria, as she said, and I'm sure she'll be able to fill us in on the exact spot coming up. So welcome again. My name is Doyle Buehler, and I help leaders, entrepreneurs, and disruptors scale, grow, and transform their business and sales through digital leadership. And I'm the author of the brand new book that just came out last week, my plug for the day, on digital strategy called Breakthrough. And I'm here to show you how you can create a digital business advantage. And in today's show, as I mentioned, I'm talking with LInda. She's from business, and media connections, and she's got a fantastic story. So let's get right into it. Thanks so much for joining us, LInda. How are you today?
You're welcome. Hi, everyone. I hope everyone's well. I'm good. I'm glad to be back into the swing of doing my job again.
Yeah, exactly. You can't stay away from business, can you?
No. Yeah, no, it was really funny because, for those of you who don't know, I've just come out of some hospital, and my surgeon said to me, "You can have your phone in the hospital. That is it."
Okay. And how did that go?
And it was fine.
Yeah,
Look, to be really honest, I couldn't sit the laptop anywhere near me for the first 3 weeks anyway. So the phone was good. It allowed me to be connected.
But that's funny. Like 20 years ago, if you said you could just have a phone, like you'd only be using the phone to talk, right? But we all know that with your phone today, like you can do everything.
Facebook groups.
Yeah, exactly.
Admin checking what my team was up to.
Yeah, keeping tabs on everybody, making sure that they're working. Yeah. No, for sure. So tell us a bit about your business.
In there. Okay, so my business. Okay, which one is the craziness?
Let's start with one that's closest to your heart then.
Yeah. Look, I'm a publicist and marketing consultant by trade. So I PR and marketing coach. And that's when so in amongst all of this, actually, maybe we need to go back a step. In amongst all of this, I had a daughter back in 2009, and my decision was I was no longer going to consult, and I was no longer going to give 60 hours a week in PR and marketing to other organizations, and I was over the corporate world. So I did the complete opposite. I ran a family publication, and we still run a family website to this day called Family Capers, which was a great learning curve for me to understand the difference between what I knew as a publicist and a marketing person about when the media needed stuff, what they needed, how to get it to media, and then what small business owners and parents, because it was at that start where guest posting was really becoming quite popular. Getting your story out there online was really popular. And I say to people now, if you looked at the website we had back then, you go, oh my God, what the hell was she doing? That was back in the days when I trusted everything to the web developers out there. The one lesson I learned in amongst all of that is hire the right people, but know what they're doing.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you don't trust them today, though. Is that what I'm hearing?
No, I got a very good web team today, but it took me, we learned some lessons along the way. We had some really good people build some sites. We had some people redevelop sites and break links and all of that sort of stuff. And that was my one, when we were about 2 years old, Family Capers was rebuilt and all the links broke. Thousands of articles links broke. And I went, oh my God, how the hell do I fix this? And so that was my crash course into web design and into web development. But it was good because I needed to learn that lesson too. Now I know what can be done and what can't be done. And I also know that when my web team now say to me, I don't think that's possible, they'll come back.
You go, shucks, you can do it.
Yeah. I'm like, just give me half an hour and I'll find a way and you can do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was the introduction to me into PR and marketing from the point of view of understanding small business owners need a bit of a helping hand.
Okay, yeah.
So back in 2012, we launched Media Connections because what I would use as a full service PR agency to send a release out, I found out was cutting off a right arm and leg for a small business owner.
What do you mean?
In costs.
Okay. Yeah.
In costs and abilities to be out there. So I was like, oh my God, we pay what for what?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I could put my team on the phone for less than that. We went through a couple of habits and that sort of stuff. So we learned that there was a skill gap between what business owners need to know about PR and marketing. And we still get that daily on a media connections basis. We'll get someone going in, I put my release out and it's only 3 days to go. And I'm like, we needed more lead time for that.
Yeah.
So we see those things.
Is that the biggest problem then with PR is kind of not looking ahead, or what do you see sort of at the big
not understanding the industry is most probably the biggest thing. So looking ahead. So when I said this to the group yesterday, we've got to think, in PR, you've got to think for all the outlets, not just one, not just the daily stuff. So you need to be thinking for those magazines and print that are working 90 to 120 days ahead of time. Then you need to think of the TV guys that are planning the 60-ish days ahead of time, 60 to 30 days ahead of time. Then you need to be thinking about your daily guys who are there at that 7-day mark, planning their PR and marketing. So it's about, I have this one motto that the girls in my office keep saying: one press release a PR campaign does not make.
Okay.
It's about actually doing more and backing your PR efforts up with marketing, so that when the journalist gets to your website or gets to your Facebook page, they see the same thing being talked about. So they're actually feeling involved and engaged in the whole process.
Right. So you create that consistency and that congruency as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, why do you think we don't think ahead? Why do you think businesses and entrepreneurs don't think too far ahead? Like, why is that?
Look, I don't actually think it's the business owner's fault. It's understanding the media world. It's a game. It's a game. Like anything. It's a game. It's like social media. It's like any form of media out there. It's a game, and it's about playing a game and developing those relationships and knowing how far they work ahead. Now, you'll pick up your magazine for November quite happily off the magazine rack and read it, or you'll go and read your digital publication. And you'll get that article and you'll read that content that you've been given, and you'll go, okay, yeah, cool, that was great. But you don't give any thought to how long ago did the publication organize that interview or organize the article to go live. It's like, even with business, we processed our way through 200 articles over the weekend.
Wow. Okay.
For the next 2 months. But that's excellent. 2 months ahead with the digital magazine. I keep saying that to people, it's great if you want to squeeze something in the last minute, and being digital, we can a little bit easier, but in print, you can't. You've got a certain amount of pages, and in TV, you've got a certain amount of airtime, and in radio, you've got a certain amount of airtime. Yeah. But yet, as part of the game, as well as thinking ahead, you need to be responsive. I told you,
don't just send it out, but actually respond to it.
But actually respond to it. But if the journalist happens to call you, pick up the phone. If you happen to know it's a journalist. I say that to people: if you're going to send a press release out, make sure you have voicemail, because the last thing a journalist wants to do is have a phone ring out or get to the. Please leave your message as a text, and we'll get back to you. That's the stuff that they're not going to know. They're going to move on to the next call. So it's about answering your phone, or at least being responsive. So I normally say to people, if you're going to send a press release, don't walk into a 2-hour meeting afterwards. Make sure you're available.
Yeah. That's anticipating success, though?
That is anticipating, but you've got to look in this industry. As I said to everyone, you've got to anticipate success. You can't put a release or a campaign out there not expecting to get a result. Yeah. Because if you do, if you
why do it?
Why would you do it? So the thing is about doing that process and following that process is making sure that you're actually expecting that result, and you're giving the opportunity for people to be able to contact you and negotiate with you. Now, some press releases, it could take them 2 to 3, possibly even 6 months to bite. The longest one I've ever sent out and had a bite on is 2 years afterwards.
Oh, really? Wow.
I had to track down that media connections member very quickly, going, where are they? I want this story right. I need to find this person nowadays. So it's about consistency, but it's about responsiveness too. And especially in the lead up where we are right now between the Christmas and New Year period, this is the prime time for small business owners to be looking at press.
Well, I've kind of heard the other thing, and maybe that's something that you can clarify, is that during Christmas break in Australia anyways, like half the world shuts down kind of thing. Is there an opportunity here or not?
Half the world shuts down, and that's the half the world that are the publicists and all of those that can't respond to call outs and can't get the story in there. I'm not saying push your story, but watch what the media is doing. Last year was a really interesting year. We had one of those, one of those media years where, and I say this, 2017 has been one of the craziest media years on the planet. You cannot predict whatever we're doing. We had a president over in the US that would change the media outlay every 5 minutes. We had a series of unfortunate events and deaths at the beginning of the year, which changed the news cycle. The news cycle changes. It's fluid. It is like watching a river.
Yeah.
So it's been one of the most unpredictable years. And in the last 3 months, it's most probably come back to the most normal. Yes, we're talking about Christmas. Yes, we're talking about summer. Yes, we're talking about back to school. We're talking about 2018 predictions. All of that stuff's now starting to fall into place. The normal stuff, as we call it.
So what should a business, so you're saying don't pitch during the Christmas, or
I'm
what should
saying
they pitch
watch for opportunities for pitching during the Christmas.
Okay, so something. Now,
2018 predictions. The call-outs are already starting to appear on places like SourceBottle. We've got a few intermedia connections today. So what is happening in your industry that you can actually share information and advice about? So one of the, just making even predictions even on the digital space, Doyle, in your case, what do you see being different? What do you see dying? And what do you see changing?
Well, I see a fantastic book coming out.
I know. I'm the book guys. We'll play the book. Guys,
so should everybody have like a top 10 list then? Top 10 things that are going to happen in 2018?
A top 10, it doesn't even have to be top 10. It can be top 3, it can be top 5. It doesn't have to be a top 10. Press release is just enough to get your journalists to pay attention to you.
Yeah.
So it's giving them just a bite to pay attention to you. And the other thing is watch the newspapers. So watch the newspapers, watch the news. If there's a topic that comes up, especially if you're a relationship advisor or a life coach or news resolution topics are going to be hot. And they will be hot. And you've got about a 7-day window to get those news resolution topics.
What's going to be hot? News
resolution?
The
news resolutions. So do you make news resolutions? Do you keep them? Should we do them? And career advice, all of that stuff is hot between Christmas and New Year.
Yeah, okay.
And it really is such a small window. So if you see the opportunity or you see the call out through, and I mean, there's plenty of sites out there, guys. There's us, then there's SourceBottle, then there's Help a Reporter Out. There's a new one in the UK called Journal Request as well that happens to do some stuff across the borders. Have a look at those call outs. There's good opportunities for you to get your story out there because the PR teams are often on leave, so they're not responding to them.
Yeah, well, fantastic. And so if you don't get an immediate response, let's say you contact Reporter directly or whatever through Facebook or LinkedIn, or Twitter even, because that's pretty easy nowadays if you know who they are.
Twitter's their spot. Yep.
Yeah. So what should you do that? And if you don't get a response, should you follow up and say, hey, did you see my wonderful story I sent you? Or
okay, I'll give you guys a fair indication. The Family Capers inbox sees 700 plus emails a day. Okay. They physically cannot read all of them. As much as I would like to hire a team that could read all of those emails on a daily basis, they're not going to read all of them. They are going to look for what's standing out. So if you do pitch a journalist or you do send a story, give them the what's in it for me. It's just like it's standard sales, guys, really. What's in it for me? What will their audience do and what will their readers do? And give them a couple of clear points. They'll come back to you if it's based on the news cycle. If it's too pitchy, they're not going to run it. I'm really honest about that.
Yeah.
Promote your product by promoting your expertise.
Okay. So it's about the expertise, not how awesome you are.
Yeah. It's about promoting the expertise. So it's about sharing the knowledge and the tips and the predictions and the educational based content so the journalists can then go, okay, yep, cool. Well, that's a good piece I can run. So one of our career members last year, he ran the top 5 things for job search over the Christmas and New Year break. Now that got him national coverage.
Excellent.
So it's about thinking outside the square and educating. And then all of a sudden, you just need a producer or a journalist to go, yep, that's it. I'm going to run it.
Yeah. No, that's cool. And
I'm for following up, but not for hounding, because all my journo mates would turn around and say to me, don't hound me.
don't hound me. Yeah. Well, there's a fine line between hounding and just, I don't know, being smart about business.
I have a relationship with them. I'll send you a release once.
Okay.
If I really want you to run it, I will call you.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
And I've always had that relationship. I'll send it to you once, it's there. You've got me on your list.
Yeah.
And then I've had other journalists who've said to me, you can stay on my list. That's great. And you can be on my inbox. But if you send me something off topic, you're out. So guys, it's about being on topic. It's about knowing the journalist. If you send something off topic, you close that door straight away. Yeah,
no, those are really good points. So have you seen sort of a shift from sort of that direct approach to now kind of reaching out? I mean, when you think about it, the reporter or the media, they're more like influencers, right? And we've been hearing a lot about sort of influencer marketing and that sort of thing. So should we be treating them like influencers and just sort of, reaching out and commenting and talking about them and their stories and that sort of thing? Or what would you do?
Can I let you into a secret? Journalists were influencers before influencers came into play.
Okay. There you go. We're way behind then, I guess.
I spent 15 years in this game, and I sit here and I watch it. And I say to people, we used to write press releases and write notes and send bulky press releases and fax things out and then go, oh my God, I hope they get a fax machine. There was no way of tracking whether your release had been sent or what had happened back in those.
Machine? What's that?
I know, and post, we did that. Well, the fax machine was pretty exciting when we got one.
Wow.
So it's about thinking outside of the square with those sorts of things. But journalists, from that point of view, they just want you, and like an influencer, the rules aren't any different in this particular case. They want you to know who they are. They want you to know what they write on, and they want you to relate with them. So if they run your story or they run a story in your area of expertise, they like a bit of social sharing. It's a bit of ego. It's a bit of love. Share what they're doing. Show some interest in them before. It's like taking someone out for a date. Show some interest first.
Yeah, exactly. You're not going to get married on the first date, are you?
And then it works. It works. Like I went to uni with some of my journalist friends. I, have fortunately spent long enough in this industry to still survive. And when Media Connections was built, what I'd said to them was, there's a big difference. And I said, I'm coming back into PR, but I don't want to do corporate. Over corporate. Over the multiple people in departments twisting things and saying different things. So I said, no, not coming back into the corporate world, not coming back as a troubleshooter. I like my daughter. I got her. I want to see her, not be out all hours.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, I want to build a media hub for small business owners. What do you want in it? And they said, okay, we want experts. We want to be able to see who they are. We want hidden call outs that just go out to your members who are pre-qualified. People that are out there, and we want to be able to call you and say, hey, Linda, what stories have you got at ridiculous amount of hours?
Right, yeah.
And for us to be able to, and that's what the girls and I do, we'll go through the thing and they'll say, okay, I need something for Christmas, and we'll put 3 or 4 people through from the site. But they're all the journalists, so there's about 5,500 journalists using Media Connections now.
Wow.
Which is a bit scary.
Okay. Yeah.
We started with my 300 of my, inner circle list back in 2012. That was like about inner circle. If I can just give my inner circle to all the members that are out there, that should, that'll give back something to the community, was my theory. And every journalist who's on our site has opted in. So they have filled in the form to say, these are the categories I'm interested in.
Yeah.
So that's pretty awesome.
Oh, no, that's fantastic. And then, so how did that expand into business? Like, what was that trigger there that said, hey, you know what, this is not a bad idea. Let's try something different. Because you're the personality that is like, oh, you got to be doing something, so let's do something good.
Let's do something good, yeah. Okay, business has a very interesting story behind it. Yeah. I was a member of a number of small business groups. As you know, you see me around Facebook. I don't tend to hide anywhere. And I was providing a little bits of marketing and PR advice and that sort of stuff to small business owners across the board. Yeah. And one night I was at my darling niece's wedding. And I just stepped away for a few minutes just to check in on social media, because that's what you do, back in 2014. And I was in a particular group, and the response was, everyone provides the same advice, rah, rah, rah. And then there was a bit of online bullying in another group, and there was something. I went, you know what? I'm just going to create a group over here. Me and my 50 colleagues who all work remotely can hang out over here all by ourselves. And then I just don't have to deal with this noise in my head.
Okay.
So that's how it started. It started from the point of it was a group of support. There was no running people down. It was all about talking about business life and having that conversation. And that's how it came about. It came about under that situation and then grew.
But it's grown. Yeah, like it's grown phenomenally over the years. Like, wow. How did you do that? Because you see some groups, they've started but then stopped, or they kind of, stutter along the way kind of thing. How did you overcome that?
Yeah, okay. We made the commitment to it. So what happened about the 2-year mark, it was sitting about the 5,000 member mark.
Yeah.
At about 2 years, and my accounts team had started to see the tracking on our reports, because we're publicists and we track all our time for how much our team was spending on adminning this group.
Yeah.
And my accountant said to me, okay, so is this going to become something serious, or is it going to continue to cost us money?
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
okay, she'll still tell you today that it's still costing us money, but it's become a pretty serious platform in the meantime. It's still in its baby stage. It's from the point of view of a website, it's only 18 months old. So it's still in its baby phases from that particular point of view. So we decided we'd grow it. We decided we'd spend more time in the group, fostering conversations, getting involved. I joke that I have my morning cup of coffee with the BBB members, just scrolling through the group, checking what's happening, checking that things are on our guidelines, checking that, that things are out there and moving in that particular direction. But that's what we did. We made the commitment to grow the group and provided a resource. We're pretty tough. Like, I'll admit it. The guidelines are pretty...
Yeah, you've got some guidelines there, and maybe that's kind of why it works well, is that you've said, here's a good forum, but you know what, these are my house, my rules kind of thing.
Gee, it's funny. Someone said that the other week when someone got booted from the group. They're like, this is like a Nazi territory. I'm like, no, it's just a group, and it happens to run this way. Someone very early on in running BBB told me it's not a privilege it's not a right to be part of a Facebook group. It's a privilege that someone lets you into their space and their zone.
Yeah.
And I went, you know what? It is. It's not a right just because it's there. It's not. No one's right to be in there. So that was one of the biggest things that I learned, and I went, okay, yep, I will bear that in mind. Yeah. When we're creating Facebook communities and we're adminning. But yeah, so then when we hit 10,000 members in 2015, we launched 2015, 16 maybe.
10,000 members in 2015?
10,000 members then.
Yeah.
It might have been, we decided that was time to build the website, and the website was launched in June 2016. So it was about bringing all that knowledge together. And I mean, I'm married to a business coach, so between the two of us, there's a bit of knowledge we should most probably be sharing.
Yeah, obviously.
So we brought together all of that sort of stuff, and I'm a good negotiator, so I can negotiate deals with providers and that sort of stuff. So we've got perks and offers for the members, and we bring in people to do webinars and have conversations. But it's about community, and it's about. So my background before going into business was I was a trained teacher.
Yeah.
And I joke, but it's a classroom. It's a classroom full of information and education sharing.
It is,
and the guidelines are just the same as what you'd have in a classroave. Be nice to each other and don't run each other
simple
down.
Things. Yeah. Simple things, but some adults can't understand that.
I know. I've been in my daughter's classroom occasionally going, man, you're better behaved than some of the grown-ups online.
Yeah, no kidding.
But you know what? It's also the group had a post over the weekend where someone had hit a pretty tough situation. And she put a call out, and it was a pretty raw call out for help inside the group, okay? 45 comments inside an hour offering her an opportunity for work, for help, to all of that sort of stuff was amazing.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason we do it.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You can go, blah, here's all my cards on the table, how do I fix it?
Yeah. And that's sort of the humanity side of things, and I think that too many businesses try to make it too technical and, too much mumbo jumbo kind of thing. Cause we are typically the technician type thing, but that human side, that humanity side really, I think is like, I've watched the group grow, and it's just been phenomenal. And it's because it's not been just about the business. It's been about the other things as well. Yeah.
And it is about business life is hard enough as it is.
Yeah.
And we're now in a world where we do work remotely, and remote is actually quite common. And I can run, between Clive and I, we can run 5 businesses out of regional Victoria, and people go, oh my God, you run it. I rock up to school, and occasionally some people go, oh, you're the BBB lady. I'm like, oh, damn it. I have to put makeup on and dress properly.
And didn't you say it hurt to put makeup on today?
It did this morning. I did have to put makeup on.
I have no idea what that means, but it sounded funny.
It was just the fact that my muscles weren't ready for doing that action.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yes. So it was all one of those things that, you sit there and you don't realize the community you've created until we've done that. And look, I've always been someone who works with the human side of business.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So Clive and I just recently finished with the kids program called the Field Trip.
Yeah.
Where we're mentoring kids in business. So they're starting their own businesses.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
So how do you,
there.
when you were what, sorry?
When I was that age, that mentoring and running your own business was not a career option you were given.
No, not at all. That's fantastic. So how do you continue to inject that human side into your group and into everything that you do as well? Like, are there some key strategies or just that's who you are kind of thing?
It's probably who I am. Clive will say to you, I'm a people person. He's the background systems type person. Put me in a room, I can work a room all I like. You know.
Yeah.
But the reality of it is it's having those conversations. It's watching the conversations that happen in the group and looking at it and going, well, what else do they need? And looking at it from the overall point of view. And the background of being a troubleshooter and a PR person is I can see multiple messages at once and go, okay, that, okay, this is a trend. We need to look at this.
Yeah.
Facebook have bought some amazing tools in for group admins, but we used to run that, looking at who was engaged and that sort of stuff through a team of us here. But the other thing is also walking away from it. So there'll be nights that I'm not the admin for the group because it's not the right time for me to be there and admin the group. But the other thing that we do is the group is looked after by our team of people.
Okay.
It's not an external source because it's a case of we all know what we expect. We all know what the business expects internally. So we all know what's expected of us.
But it's like a worldwide audience. So do you have like admins around the world too, or just members who kind of contribute and help out?
Look, it's a case of a couple of us are night owls, a couple of us are morning people, and we run it here. Yeah. Okay. So there is currently 4 admins looking after the group.
Yeah. Fantastic. And so a lot of the complaints about Facebook is from the business side. I don't sort of believe this or not believe it, but there's ways of overcoming it. But have you seen like a drop in reach and traffic and all that kind of stuff, or have you sort of had some consistency there?
So 2009 was when we launched Family Capers.
Yeah.
There has not been a drop in our percentage of traffic coming from Facebook in that whole time.
Okay.
We're talking maybe 2 to 3% in all of that time. So my comment is
there's
about
a lot
engaging.
of whingers.
And there's okay, the line in the office is damn that free platform that allows us to promote our business, not doing what we want it to do.
Yeah, exactly. What do you mean I have to work?
Guys.
It's supposed to be free and easy, right?
Free, exactly. You used to have to pay for this. You used to have to pay to get your message out there.
Yeah.
Facebook has made it so easy to do it, but you've got to engage and you've got to play the game as it is. The same as Twitter, the same as LinkedIn, the same as all of those platforms out there. They work as long as you play by the rules, and the rules will change. But the rules haven't changed. The rules changed in advertising. The rules changed in print. The rules changed in TV. They change everywhere.
Yeah.
It's just
so
adapting.
Are the rules going to change again, or what?
Of course they are. Everyone's going to change the rules.
And so what's going to happen?
Well, from the social media point of view, at the moment they're pushing video. At the moment they're pushing lead ads with particular where you've got sign up, which I absolutely love at the moment. If everyone's tried them, the Facebook lead ads, which go feed directly to your mail list.
Yeah.
Getting much better results than any other ones I've run. But it's about looking at the systems and looking at playing and also looking at what your audience is. I read an article, and I think it came in from the guys at Social Media Examiner the other week saying that, SEO copywriting is now dead. You've got to write for your audience. Now, I've been telling my clients that for the last 9 years.
Yeah. Okay.
Getting them there on an SEO point of view is great, but unless you're writing copy that the people that when they arrive will actually engage it with, it's going to be no value to you. It's
pointless. Yeah. No, I've been saying the same thing. So what are your So what are your what are Linda's 2018 top 3 things to do?
Be active. Okay. And that means actually be there, be active. Use the scheduling tools that are available. I'm a big fan of scheduling tools by all means, but also be active and be responsive. One of the tools that we discovered this year, there's 2 tools that I discovered this year that I love. One is called Missing Letter, and it takes your blog post and makes 12 months worth of social media content out there for you. Okay. That's freaking awesome.
And what's the name of that again?
Missing letter. If you head to the perks page on BBB, there's on the business website, there is a 14-day trial for our members.
Okay, cool.
And we'll have been back in for a webinar early January. The other one that I found is eClincher. eClincher helps you program your evergreen content, the stuff that, your memes and all of that stuff, that all your tips, the evergreen stuff that goes out. It helps you publish via RSS feed, but it's got a social media inbox, and that inbox is a lifesaver. So it puts all the notifications for Twitter, for Facebook, for YouTube, all in one little inbox for me to look at.
Yeah.
Now, when you're managing 5 brands out of an office, that is a lifesaver.
That's helpful, yeah. No,
and you just go to that one on the app and you respond and you retweet, and everything happens all from that particular app, which is absolutely amazing. And then, but then you've also got to be checking in on your pages, because as much as those tools are great, they're not going to pick up everything.
Well, that's where that human side comes in, right? It's like you still have to connect with people and talk with them and have a conversation around them.
And when it
don't just
comes
blurt
to groups,
out stuff,
guys, you've got to be human. You've got to be there as your personal self. And one of the things that's popped up in BBB a lot recently is this letting other people use your Facebook account situation. It's actually against Facebook's terms of service to hand your Facebook password across to anyone else.
Right. Yeah.
So you can
they've got
lose your account if you've got VAs or someone posting, or someone else posting for you in your group. It's just too much of a risk.
Yeah, but for those super busy entrepreneur business people, CEOs, CDOs, whatever, how do they do it? Or how should they do it?
Do you know what? One of the really good examples of that one is the Canadian president, Justin Trudeau. He got asked on Quora the other week, is it actually him posting? He took a photo going, yes, it's me responding to all of these questions.
Okay. Maybe take a picture of me typing too, right?
Yes, it's me. I'm typing. I'm doing that. But you know what, guys? It's about looking at the platforms that work for you and the ones that want to be active. The people who tend to whinge about not getting engagement or reach on Facebook, maybe their audience isn't there. Maybe it's another platform you look at. Or maybe it's too pitchy. So it's about looking at providing value and real content. One of the videos I shared to my Facebook page last night was a marble race, which was a really cool marble race.
I love that. I saw that. I was like, oh my God.
I had to watch that to the end. But it was such a great thing, and it got great engagement, because that's, it's the human side of things. If I was in the office, I'd be saying, hey guys, look at this, check out this video.
Come on over, watch it.
Your clients and your customers are looking for that same conversation with you on social media that you would have with them face to face.
Right. Yeah. And that's actually one of the critical ingredients too. It's like, it is no different. I mean, yes, the medium is different, but the conversation, the sense of who you're talking to and how you're talking to them, that hasn't changed.
The basics have not changed.
Yeah.
They want to feel valued. They want to feel engaged, and they don't want to be pitched to all the time.
Yeah, exactly. And you see that a lot, as like some of them, they are just an endless pitch, and maybe that's why your engagement is down.
Yeah.
Because when it's all about, buy my stuff.
Well, BBB, to give you an example, we've got we'll hit 22,000 members most probably somewhere during this week.
Wow. Congratulations.
19.4% of them are active.
Oh, wow. Excellent.
Sorry, 19,400 of them are actually active. So that's saying something. They're either liking or they're engaging with the content inside the group. And that was a pretty cool stat to find out. This is what I love about Facebook Insights, because it gave me more stats.
Yeah, it gives you that information too. So it might be free, but you get a lot of good information out of it.
You get a lot of good information out of it. And it's about investing. Social media, just like any other form of media, is an investment. Whether it's time or money, you invest something. Yeah. No, for sure. And you have to. Yeah. PR, it's all the same. It's all about promoting your business, and that takes some sort of investment.
Yeah, no, fantastic. Okay, cool. Well, I just kind of want to wrap up. You've got a fantastic event coming up, your 52-week marketing challenge.
Yes.
What is that?
Oh my gosh, this is the big one. So in amongst the whole business conversations that we see in BBB, there is that question that continually pops up of, how do I market my business with little or no money, or how do I do it myself? We decided to put together all of my tips, which is the 52-week marketing challenge, which you've lovely popped up in the box for us here. And what it's going to be is my magic. I know. What it's going to be is new activity each week for you. So it keeps you accountable on the marketing activity, but it's something you can implement that week. So, on a Monday, you get an email with this is your task for the week, and the Facebook group has a bit of a conversation about that particular task, but then it's limited to 25 people. because
Oh,
I
okay.
want to be able there to answer questions for people. So
Yeah.
that's the biggest thing at the moment. We're starting to hit the full numbers, which is great. I'm loving the fact that we're there. But yeah, it's so that I can answer questions and you go, okay, well, I tried this and how did it work?
Yeah.
So
No, that's fantastic. Yeah.
it's one of the big ways of running a challenge. And that's what we wanted to do, is just give you opportunity to get out there. And we share tools all the time. And it's about time that I opened up the little red book and shared a few of them instead of keeping them all inside.
Well, that's good. And have you run it before? Is this something new or different?
Yeah, this is the first year we're doing it. So the content has been written over the last couple of months.
Yeah.
And getting out there. And we're actually, guys, it's not... We start, if the Facebook group is there now and it's actually got the pre-challenge tasks of checking your Facebook pages, checking your LinkedIn profiles, checking your contact pages, are they all actually working before we go and start marketing your business? Because the last thing you want to do is market your business and then find out that you put all this effort in and no one can actually contact you, because that would be just a little bit of a disaster. It goes through checking all of those sorts of things. And then we're actually going through about how do we plan for a year's worth of marketing? So
I know that's huge. Like 52 weeks of content, like that's massive. I mean,
it's a massive amount of content.
Yeah, even just having the idea. And I think that's where a lot of businesses go wrong, is they don't have those ideas. And if you've mapped it out for 52 weeks, like, hey, that's pretty darn good.
And you do the challenge. And I mean, the challenge, we made it affordable. We kept it in. It's $5.95. You come in and you do the challenge, and you get that information and you get the resources there. And the reason it's on Facebook and not anywhere else is because that's where I am.
Yeah, exactly.
So I can see things pop up and that sort of stuff and share opportunities. But there is a big resource hub full of videos and documents all being put together to support everyone, because I know it's going to be a mind blow. And I know that in business, as much as I release a challenge activity every Monday, sometimes things are going to go not to plan.
Yeah.
Which means you don't get to look at that challenge activity for that week, but then you can come back to it another stage in time.
Oh, okay. And I'm sure a few surprises along the way as well.
Oh, of course, yeah. Knowing me, there'll be a webinar or a guest host or, oh my God, I found this, you've got to check it out.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Cool. So any other sort of final tips or tricks for what businesses should be doing in 2018?
Being social. So getting out there and actually having that conversation. Now that depends. It needs to be a mix of everything. So it's social networking. It's actually getting out and doing face-to-face networking and saying hi to people. It's talking to people at the coffee shop and going, this is what I do. And those sorts of things, and taking those opportunities. I'm a big one. I love the train. Being in Bendigo, we're 2 hours away from Melbourne. I catch train. Like, I'll talk to anyone on the train. Have a conversation, see what you like. You find out some great stories about people's lives that way. And it's one of those things that you just never know what the person sitting next to you has to offer.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's great advice.
I've hired really good people that way too.
Really? Just randoms.
I had a boss that used to hire.
Yeah.
From people he would say, you'd be out having dinner.
Yeah.
And he'd get really good service at dinner. So he'd get people to sit down and have a conversation with him about, so what do you want to do with your business, with your life? Is this what you want to do with the rest of your life? First couple of times it's embarrassing when you're out for dinner. The second or third time you're going, oh, okay, he's off again, right?
Yeah.
But it was a great strategy. And I used to say to people, in all honesty, if you had the balls to door knock our office, I'd start talking to you whether you thought you had a career in sales and marketing.
Right. Yeah.
Because I figured if you were ballsy enough to walk the streets on commission only and do that, I'd sit here and see if I could offer you something better.
Yeah. Oh, well, no, that's some good advice. So, yeah, it's been a fantastic conversation, Linda. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me. Buy the book, guys.
Yeah. Buy the book.
Buy the book. It's definitely worthwhile. We'll actually be reviewing it on BBB. So if you don't buy the book beforehand, check out the review.
Yeah, absolutely. No, looking forward to that. And so thank you so much, Linda. I really appreciate your time and your expertise, and you're just doing some amazing things. So keep on going and keep us going too, because we're all watching you. We're all behind you. Oh, Linda.
Thank you. I appreciate everyone's support, and it does mean a lot to hear that people are behind you, because there's days, and this is anyone who wants to run a Facebook community. There are days as an admin that it sucks. It absolutely sucks.
When you get some haters out there, or
look, it becomes down to they're not the right fit for the group, or I'm not the right fit for them, or blah blah, and vice versa. And the same thing with clients, guys. You don't have to be right for every client. Not every client has to be right for you. And when you learn that, sometimes there's going to be a bad day and you need to walk away, then that's fine.
That's the day to do it. Yeah.
That's the day to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that makes perfect sense. So, so thank you once again for your time, Linda. Really appreciate it. Just to close off here, there are, 3 categories that I go through as part of these digital leadership breakthrough live shows. The state of digital, where I talk about specific strategies and insights and how businesses can actually utilize them. And hey, maybe we could talk about those 2 on another episode, Linda. And then I have the digital leadership guests, where today I was talking with LInda Reed Enever. Did I get that right?
You did.
Good. Where we talk to experts in the field and see what they're actually doing and how they're doing it and get some great insights and that sort of thing. And then the last one that we have as part of the series is the digital discovery, where we answer specific questions and challenges and that sort of thing. So thank you so much for watching. You can go to breakthrough.digital for the book. If you'd like to join my influencer program, you can do that. It's at bit.ly/bookinfluencer. Let me just get that up on the bar there. And it's been a fantastic day. If you like this show, please leave a like, comment, or emoticon. And I'm Doyle Buehler, and I will see you online. Thanks again, Linda.
Thanks, guys. Bye.